Welcome back to the CG Bros. This is our third and final video on paint effects and creating a vine growth animation. Now we left off last time adjusting the some of the stroke settings, specifically the pressure settings, pressure scale settings on the shape node of each stroke, and that adjusted the tapering, the leading edge, and had it actually taper down with both scale and number of leaves being channeled into the pressure settings on the curve. So let's go ahead and sync up our strokes so it looks like one continuous flow of leaf growth. I'm going to go ahead and hide our leaf strokes and just go ahead and work on the vine strokes firstly. Let's see, this first stroke here meets the second stroke at about 60. So I'm going to go ahead into the second stroke, and I'm going to go into the shape node where we set the max clip keyframes and adjust those. I'm going to go ahead and offset those by 60 frames. Oops. There we go. So as this vine grows up, it intersects that one, and that one starts to grow. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing up here. So I'll select that stroke, and as the vine hits that, I'm going to go to an even frame here, frame 90, and offset these a bit by 90 frames. I'll do the same thing with this one here. It's about 90 as well. I'm going to go ahead and continue timing out the animation here on my vines, and I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recorder. I'll be right back. Okay, that's pretty nice. Now we might not want to have this extend this time range all the way up to 380. We might want to actually have it, catch back up at the top. So you see it's lagging behind already. So we'll go ahead and set that down a little bit to say 300. So that way, since it actually is starting later, it kind of keeps up with the rest of the vines that way. Okay, that's good. Now I'm going to go ahead and stop it, the video and do the same thing for my leaf strokes here, and go ahead and set the same keys that I set on the vines. I'm going to go ahead and set those on the leaves. I'll be right back. Okay, I've gone ahead and set all the keyframes on our strokes, and I've gone ahead and made a play blast. This is what we've got so far. Some really natural growth going on there. Beautiful. There are a couple things I can see that I'd like to change already. One of them is going to be the size of the actual core vine. I'm going to go ahead and increase the size of that, I think. Alright, so let's go ahead and hide these leaf strokes so that we can actually see the core stem strokes a little better. I'm going to go ahead and select all the core stem strokes. And in the channel box here, I'm going to just go ahead and adjust their global scale setting from 0.5 to 0.8. And if I go ahead and hide these leaves, we'll see that the stems on the leaves actually coincide a lot better with the thickness of the vine there. That's really what we want. There we go. Okay, and we're also going to offset the animation. This is really the key point to remember here is, as we finish off, having the vines move forward in front of the leaves a bit more will really help sell this illusion. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the animation editor, select the graph editor. I'm going to go ahead and frame it all here. And I'm just going to go ahead and select all my keyframes here. And I'm going to offset these in time backwards a bit so they actually occur slightly ahead of the leaf growth. And you'll see what I mean here in a minute. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and create a play blast here, and we'll take a quick peek. Alright, here we go with the play blast. Here's what I meant by the vine preceding the leaves. It really adds a lot to it. It really makes the effect. You could actually lead these vines a little bit more, but if they get out a little too far ahead of the leaves, it starts to lose the overall effect. Okay, so let's go ahead and render these out. First thing we're going to want to do here is select all of our leaves. We're going to want to convert those into polygons for mental ray rendering. So we come down here to modify, convert paint effects to polygons. We'll do the same thing with our core strokes. There we go. Let's take a look at what that looks like rendered. Okay, here we go. That's looking pretty nice. I'm going to go ahead and render out an animation of this, and we'll take a look and see what that looks like. Okay, here it is. I went ahead and set up a camera so we could view the vine a little bit better. That's very nice. You can see actually how the leading edge tendrils really feel finger-like and viney as they grow up the statue. We can also see a few parts where actually the core vine goes through the mesh, and that's due to the fact that I didn't clean up my initial NURBS curve that I laid down on the surface, but I can go back and do that at any time. I also think on my next pass what I'll do is, these leaves look a little static to me. I'm going to go ahead and use the pressure curve settings that we used earlier to control the leading edge scale and the leading edge number of leaves, and go ahead and see if I can find a parameter on there that can control turbulence over the stroke as well. Okay, let's look at this stroke. You see how it looks kind of lifeless after it sprouts its leaves? We're going to go ahead and change that right now. So let's go ahead and go to pressure mappings here. Select our stroke, go to pressure mappings, and if you remember we set our pressure map 1 to scale, and I switched to pressure map 2 from off to number of leaves. The number of leaves was here on pressure map 3. I'm going to go ahead and use pressure map 3 to control our turbulence. There it is. Okay, let's go ahead and set our pressure minimum to 10 and our pressure max to 5. Excuse me, 0.5. Okay, and now we need to actually activate the turbulence. Let the paint effects know that we want to turbulate it. So let's go ahead and go to the actual stroke, and that's located under Tubes, Behavior, Turbulence. Let's go ahead and set this to World Force. Let's go ahead and set the amount of turbulence to 0.3. Frequency, let's set that kind of high to 5. The turbulence speed, we'll keep that kind of low at 0.2. And I'm going to go ahead and animate this turbulence offset to actually have an offset run through the turbulence. So I'll go ahead and right click and create a new expression. I'm going to go ahead and copy the attribute name and paste it down here. I'm going to go ahead and hit the equals. I'm going to go ahead and paste it again. Hit equals, paste it again, and hit the equals sign. And I'm going to go make this equal to the value of time. That's going to go ahead and take its measurement from the time node. But I'm also going to go ahead and change these variables here to x, y, and z. So I'm going to go ahead and set this last one to z, the second one here to y, and go ahead and create. What that actually does now is creates an offset that's animated using the value of time. Okay. Okay, and there's another thing I'd like to do here real quick. I'm going to go ahead and select all my strokes. I'm going to go ahead and do a window, animation editor, graph editor. And under here are all my max clip curves. And what I want to do is go ahead and select the top keyframes on those max clip curves. I'm going to go ahead and set their tangents to flat because I want all the paths to come to a nice smooth stop at their end. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that all my other leaf strokes are set to have that pressure curve turbulence setting on the pressure curve 3. And just make sure that I've got all my attributes set properly, both on here and setting the expression, as well as these turbulence forces on my other strokes. I'm going to go ahead and do that and create a play blast. I'll be right back. Okay, here it is. Yeah, see, now it's got some more action in there, a little more life to it as it's popping on. It may be a little much up here, but you know, one thing you'll find about paint effects is it's got a lot of attributes, and you can spend quite a bit of time tweaking on them. And I'll save that for you to do. But you know, this basically can convey the idea to you. Well, that does it for this lesson. You know, I'd recommend you